Hey everybody, we're here today. We are in Tempe, Arizona with Kim Bulloch, and Kim is a longtime teacher friend, becoming a friend. We just taught at one of the studios she teaches at here in town, Tyler and I. We were having a great conversation at dinner last night about how she's used some marketing tools to really amplify her standing in the community and bring more people to class. And now she's at this really transformational moment where she's going to start her own studio and have this whole experience. So she wanted some tools, tips, and ideas. And since Tyler and I do the yoga of message, marketing, and money, we thought maybe we could help her and at the same time provide you with some useful information that you can put into immediate use in your own way, whether it's yoga studio or something else you want to create, and move it to the next level. Does that sound about right?
That sounds about right.
Cool.
Yeah, I've been teaching yoga for about 11 years, and trying to build a following is kind of hard when you're doing the same thing as everybody else. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to expand. I didn't know how, so I went to a yoga journal conference, took the business of yoga with Dana Flynn, and she just kept telling me, you need to be yourself. Be yourself, and people will come. Quit trying to do what everyone else is doing. So I was so inspired, I left there and opened a yoga studio and just practiced doing my thing without judgment or without anybody else's idea of what I should do.
Yeah. How did you figure out what it was that was yours to do? What was you, and what weren't you doing that was not you?
I was trying to teach a yoga class that everybody else in town was teaching. Mm. The same structure. There's a lot of hot yoga classes and superpowers, so I kept thinking, that's what everybody wants, that's what I should do. So I would emulate a class I took from them and think, well, people will come if it's the same class. Sure. But it wasn't genuine, it wasn't me, I wasn't giving a good message with my class, I was being physical. So. Yeah,
that's one of the biggest mistakes I think that teachers make, is to look at what's working and then try to do that and expect it to work.
Yeah.
The reason it's working usually is because the teacher teaching it or the studio owner owning the studio and creating their own thing is doing what they do best. Mm-hmm. And when you try to kind of superimpose yourself on that, it's always going to feel inauthentic to people, and it won't be as energetically resonant or attractive.
It's like a copy of a painting. Like, you have Starry Night by Van Gogh. That's worth hundreds of millions of dollars. Probably it's infinitely worth lots of money. But we have copies of that you can get for free.
Yeah, I get a poster for $4.
Yeah, $5, right? They're great. Well, why do we value that less? Because it is not original. It doesn't have the quality, the essence, the energetic resonance that you have when you do teach from your own truth.
Yes. Like I don't have 80,000 people coming through my house to look at my poster of Starry Night, like they do to go to the museum and see it in person. And the experience and the sense of awe and energy that you get from seeing an original artwork, like even the Mona Lisa, which is about, if you've never seen it, it's about a postage stamp size. She's tiny. Yeah. But we want to go to the source. So if you spend your time obviously teaching like someone else, why wouldn't people just go to them instead, which they will.
They will.
And that was your experience, right? Like last night we were talking about that since you have been teaching from what spoke to you, from your truth, that your classes have continued to grow, even though you may have had some resistance to that.
I had resistance initially, teaching in a way that wasn't considered traditional yoga, whatever that might mean, and I was accused of watered down yoga. But it felt right for me, and it resonated with people, and the more I did it and the more I put myself in there, the more people that come to my classes. It's amazing when you pour yourself into it, just like Dana said, when you give them you, they love it because you're an original.
And Dana Flynn is also an original. She is so outside the box, there is no box. And I remember actually, it's so funny because we're here in Arizona, but I met Dana Flynn at Laughing Lotus, her studio in New York, and she picked me out. She came to my class a time or two, and it was very intimidating. She had a big pink fuzzy hat on, sitting in the middle of the room, just waiting for something amazing. And for some reason, Dana does this, but when Dana was in my class, we ended up doing like a, what do you call it, cha-cha train, kind of, dun, 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 around the room. It was great. I was screaming things like, get out of the kiddie pool. This is not, this is Adult Swim, people. Like, step it up. But afterwards, she said, this is what you should always be like you. You should be like you. Quit trying to be like everyone else, because I think she came to another class, and I'd been teaching someone else's style for a little while, and she said, you stop that right now. And you know what? It was so freeing, because I didn't want to be teaching like that. I just thought I had to. I thought I should. And that's huge in people's minds. So I think, for this conversation, the tool that we really want to give you is to maybe sit with yourself. I mean, how did you figure it out? And Tyler, how did you figure it out? How to be you? Did you sit and write out your qualities? Did you ever think about... Because I did. I wrote down the qualities that I thought best represented me, that I wanted to spend my time doing. I wrote down the type of people I wanted to be around. Therefore, I'm going to teach that style, or I'm going to teach that message. I thought about classes that I go to, aspects of things that I really resonate with, and why. Great music, right? Core-centric, inner body, self-empowerment, all that. Right. And I started to build my style out of that.
Yeah, that's pretty much, like, I would take the classes that I enjoyed. I would try to sample a large spectrum, and the ones that I enjoyed the most, I would tend to go back to and try to explore those and learn more of those, write down the sequences and the different aspects of the postures of the teaching that I enjoyed. And then by that extension, it just kind of became an organic creation in and of itself. My own style began to pull in more of those as I began to push my own limits and try new things and began to play the music that I was excited about. Like you said, it was just kind of playing what spoke to me, what brought up my passion, what energized me and made it worthwhile for me as a teacher. So not just worrying too much about them, of course, but to make sure that this was an enjoyable experience for me.
Yeah.
So that I was having fun with what I was doing, and by having fun with it,
right,
it became something that other people wanted to do as well.
So important. How do you want to spend the hour that you're going to spend teaching?
Yeah.
Feeling like I am teaching yoga because I'm supposed to this way,
right,
or I am in my vibe, I love this space, this is the class I would want to teach. Yeah. How did you come up with your thing, Kim?
It was a tough one because it was a very physical practice that I came from, teaching hot yoga for some time, and it was the same postures over and over and over again every day, and it just felt really robotic. There would be times where I couldn't remember, like if I had done 2 on one side and I was asking students, did we do 2 on this side? It's awkward.
You're not attached to it?
Not attached at all. It wasn't coming from, being the word present. I wasn't being present because I couldn't be present. So I don't know, I just started playing around with yoga at home, and I started taking things that I was doing in my own practice into my studio, which was completely different than what I was teaching my students. And once I started to do that, they started to love it. I made my own little thing, I called it Vinyasa Pilates, just trying to find like this core thing because that was really what I loved. And they loved it. Yes. It was music, it was flowing, I wanted it to be kind of like a dance for them. And then I found Dana, just by chance. I didn't know who she was. But it was like left to sign up at Yoga Journal. I'm like, that sounds good. I'll take that. And then when I lost inspiration, I would go to YouTube and I found someone else. So there was a lot of
who would that be?
Yeah, there was a lot of temple sequence, and a lot of waving going on.
Yeah.
But people were in shock. They were like, what are you doing? Where's this coming from? But they loved it.
Right.
So I pulled in from things that Dana would do, like her OMG, that's so cool.
Yes.
Or Stargazer, the waves, exhaling to rise.
Yeah.
I still do it. Every time I say it, I still do it.
Exhale to rise. Exhale to rise.
Yeah.
And Leslie Kaminoff. I mean, and you found the people that help support what you already love to do, right, and gave you more tools and more training. So, we had our first tool. I think our second tool that maybe you can use is to teach the class that you're doing at home. Teach your personal practice, because that's what you love. Yeah. There are so many teachers whose personal practice and the classes they're teaching are completely different, and I always wonder why. Aren't you drawn to move the way you move for a reason? Because it's the closest to you. Yeah. And then you don't have to worry about who's going to come. The people that also vibe with that style will find you. The people that need something else will go, and you want that, don't you? You don't want to teach a ton of people, but half of them don't really get it, and you're not feeling it. You want to teach a ton of people, maybe, or 10, or whatever you're into, that totally love what you're doing.
Yeah.
And that energy is your energy's bath for the day. So you don't have to
I think more and more, though, we're headed towards, you have access to the world now with the web, with internet access, so that the more individualized your style is, that is, the more personal it is, the more you speak from your own energetic form, you then, with media, have access to a whole world of people, enough that you will have giant followings, because it doesn't matter how specific you are, there are hundreds, if not thousands of people out there who love just the way you do it. And no matter what, that's because that's broad access and finding yourself, putting yourself out there.
Yeah, no one can be you. So you found that out. That's really cool.
I found that out, and it's not easy to find that out.
No,
it can be a little painful sometimes, and a little like walking through fire.
And you have to hear people say, that's not yoga, or what is this, or I don't like it, or whatever it is.
And I'm okay with that. It's funny, I got to a point where I just quit caring. I would sub for people, and again, I would try to teach whatever the traditional style is, but who I am just comes out now. So people know if I'm going to sub for you, you're going to get you're going to get my style of yoga. But they love it. They don't look funny at me when I walk in through the door as their sub teacher. Sometimes I expect them to be like, oh.
Yeah.
But they're all happy, smiles. So
that's great. I think people are really attracted to anyone who is being authentically them, even if they're not for you.
Yeah.
It's attractive to see somebody just being bigger than life, larger than life, because larger than most people allow themselves to be.
And by doing that, you're valuing yourself. When you do value yourself, you show that to the world. That creates value for yourself. People value you because you show them,
exactly.
I'm worth value. I am worthy. My style is worthy of value. Even though it's very personal, it's still wonderful and you're going to enjoy it. And coming from that space, people are like, wow, that's wonderful. I think I'm going to enjoy this. It's just, you create that.
You have to believe in what you do, 100%. The other thing that's important to me is a core message. It was amazing how that changed. I went from trying to quote things that I really didn't have a strong grasp on. It was like trying to quote things out of the Bible. If you're a yoga teacher, you get it. You go into the sutras and you're like trying to somehow weave in a story, and I just took it away and I took it to the yamas and the niyamas, and I just made it real life, real time, like how it relates. And stories that are personal to me, not too personal, but personal to me, that I can relate to people, and we're all the same in that sense. We all get it.
And finding your core message it's a whole thing in the Yoga Message Marketing and Money program. So that's a whole deal, but it's one of the most instrumental things that I learned, and I think that any teacher needs. So I wish we could talk all about that, but you can look at the program. But anyway, so what are you doing next? What's next for you, and how can we help you? What are the questions you have around it?
Well, what's next for me and for one of my business partners is we're opening a studio. It's already there, so in about 2 weeks. But I think, thank you. Yeah, I think we're ready for this. But maybe a little bit of information on social media, and like, for me, I have a lot of trouble deciding like what's too much, what's not enough. You know what I mean? Like overposting, or at what point do you say this is enough? Or not enough.
Sure.
I don't know. It's a tough question.
All right. Well, again, I mean, this is a huge thing, right? We can go on and on about it, but since we have limited time and you're at home watching, and we don't want to take up all your day, one of the things that I think is the most powerful, and Tyler has come into my life as a social media expert and just helped me beyond amplify my audience. Since I met Tyler, I went from about 50,000 people watching my Facebook page to now approaching 500,000. It really happened in about a month, which is unbelievable, and every day I'm so thankful, because now we have a huge conversation going on. There's so much energy. But that's what you want. You want to have people. You want to tell people where you are, and then give them things that they can use, so that then you're teaching to a broader audience. We're healers. We want to serve. That's what we do. But also, if they choose to, they can support the things that you do in your studio, perhaps if somebody is in town, or hopefully the online content that you create that helps people in the virtual audience be able to also take your classes and also help to support you in many ways, as you are giving them so much. If they choose, they can give back. right?
Right.
So that's a whole other discussion about passive income online. But I will just say, and then maybe I'm sure you have ideas too, that for me, I focus well on one thing and then the other things orbit it. So for me, my strength is Facebook. That's where I have the most people coming in. That's where I love to kind of center and focus. Secondarily, YouTube, because I post my videos there and I link the two. Right? Hey, everybody. A couple things. One, I started posting more. And by more, I mean I post about every hour and a half or 2 hours. Which seems, I mean, I say that, people are like, oh my God, it's so exhausting. How am I going to, I work, how am I going to post every 2 hours?
Yeah.
Well, Facebook has this beautiful scheduling thing. What do you call it? Scheduling tab. Option.
Yeah.
And I can, in the morning, I sit for about an hour, and it's joyful. I sit and I figure out what I want to post. I go online, I find cool stuff, right? Or I've seen on Tyler's page, or I have a few Facebook pages or Pinterest pages that I love to go on and grab inspirational quotes, or maybe it's an event I'm doing or whatever. And I get to sit and think about the day ahead and post in order. It's like conducting a class. It's sequencing poses. It's sequencing what's going to appear all during the day.
Right.
And so I, from maybe 9 in the morning, create posts until 7 o'clock at night. And at night, I might have a little more time to maybe go to Tyler's page and share some stuff he's doing, or find some other things that are coming up.
That's interesting. Like similar technique, I have found about 2 hours, about every 2 hours. I'll start in the morning, same thing she does. We're sitting separately. We'll do our little schedule post for the day. There's a little option, the option that looks like a clock in the bottom left-hand corner. Click on that, and then you can just schedule it. What I've typically, I'm trying to find that happy medium, but I do about every 2 hours until the afternoon, and then for the afternoon periods, I do about every 3 hours. Just kind of space out more. People don't, I think, get on quite as much during that time. And then evening, I condense it more to 2 hours again, and I post all the way through to about 10 or 11 p.m. Because I know a lot of people get onto Facebook late.
After work. I mean, it's really the same as yoga, like before 10 a.m., right? I find during noon-ish, like lunch, when people are kind of chilling, and then after 6:30 when people get home.
Yeah, so it's all just like different techniques about thinking about what is the best way to market that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Also, what we've talked about, mixing it up. Don't continue to put the same message, the same stuff up all the time. Try to mix it up so you put some memes up that are really meaningful to you, but then put some pictures up that you took of yourself doing yoga. Those are very popular. Pictures of yourself doing yoga are very big. Pictures of your face, very big. People love to see faces. And like she said, with Facebook, I use Facebook mainly as well, in large part because I have the largest group there concentrated. It's one I know the best as well. But it has also been shown to be the most popular by far of all the social medias. Across various different platforms that have tested it, Facebook is higher than anything else. Next is usually Twitter, and then Instagram or others. So I try to keep with those. So I do Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. The cool thing about Instagram is that it's growing like gangbusters, and you can share from Instagram to any of the other ones. So it's much more economical. So typically I'll schedule my Facebook posts, and then throughout the day I might post 1 or 2 Instagram photos, which I can then send out to Facebook and Twitter. So it kind of gets this multi-part thing going.
Yeah, and it's a skill set, yeah, but it's also kind of easy to figure it out once you get it.
I start playing with it.
And then everybody who comes to your studio, of course, you somehow, you ask them to sign up on the Facebook page because you're posting free videos there. Right? And every week you make another 5-minute video that you post. You film, maybe it's a portion of your class that you set up a little camera and you just film one class, and you can chop it up and use it all week long, or you can make that a class you sell online, who knows. Or you can film your own stuff. Each teacher in the studio can do it. And you stick it on YouTube, and then you tell your Facebook page, hey, video of the week, here it is, or recipe.
You can put it on your Facebook page, and then you'll have access, those two connected. Another really useful one that I found could be great is just like a little hey, this is what's going on with me this week. This is what we're doing, just a picture. Set the camera up with your face, you're like, hey, this is my intro thing. And that way it's interactive, it's video, and it leads back to your YouTube, which leads to your studio.
Or theme of the week, or thought of the day, or whatever, however you want to do this, but it's part of your business. It's part of the attention you pay to your business, and it's growing an online community for those dual reasons, both to walk in the door, but also to come to you in other ways. and to be offering them things from the heart too, so they don't have to buy anything, but they can if they want. That's beautiful. And you've just got this ability to grow. Something Tyler did was also suggest that I promoted my Facebook page.
Well, that's what I was talking about. Actually, promotion. So really, to me, this is probably the number one grade A way to grow your Facebook audience by far. It is the way that you jumped up all you did. I think the problem is people, and this is something really interesting to look at, is are you willing to put a little money into your online presence? And a lot of people just aren't, because they don't feel like it's that important. They're like, well, it's always been free, so why should I pay anything for it? But it makes a huge difference, a huge difference. The jump in likes for me and Sadie has been astronomical, as well as viewership. You can do it as low as I do $1 a day. It's not that bad, $1 a day, but it's a huge impact. I mean, if I look at myself and my friends who are not, my viewership is much larger now, and it's worth it. It's totally worth it for me. But you can do more. You can do 2, 3, whatever you want to do. And there's specialization ways to make it. You can do an ad. You can promote a particular post. All these things are kind of playing around just to feel what works best for you. And I've been trying different things. Try this out for a while, see how that works. Try that out.
Yeah, I put like $60 a month towards this, and it's just made a huge difference in my reach. It really is, and I've found, I mean, I've been a studio owner myself a couple of times, and I have not found in any market that advertising in newspapers, magazines really does that much. What really helps in the community is grassroots marketing, cool flyers that say something funny or quirky about yoga and catch the attention, and you put them up everywhere you can, right? That stuff, giving students the first class free or whatever you're going to do, but always have your Facebook, always have your Facebook, always have your Facebook. And I think that's a way that you can really start to grow your notoriety and to be posting things that are aligned with your brand. So like, hey, new move you've never done before for core strength or whatever it is. Hey, come.
You'd be amazed the reach. Like I received an email or a Facebook text from a girl who lives in Virginia who's been watching my videos from Austin when I was teaching there. She took my classes, she got my videos, she kept them, went back to Virginia, kept doing them with her friends, and now her friends are sending her back to Austin to train there. It's just the reach is way more than you can possibly imagine. Yeah.
But so I have found that to be the reason for my success, and I'm really hoping that you can use some of these tools. Do they sound like
some of this stuff is completely new to me. This is completely new information, and yes, absolutely.
Wait till you actually do the training, because we have so much more. There's so much more great stuff.
Yeah. I'm super excited.
Yeah. So I mean, if you like this, we would love. I mean, the Yoga of Message Marketing and Money is a 10-step program. Each of these, and so much more are a step, and then we're going to just expand that for you so much. That's our most popular workshop at the Yoga Journal conferences and anywhere we teach it. It will free you and turbo boost your success in ways like this that are grassroots, that you can afford, that you can do immediately. So we really want you to use this information and go with that, or if you want to go farther, we'll give you the information. And I hope to see you there.
So useful.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Kim. And we're so excited for you.
Thank you so much.
Can't wait to come back next year and teach at your place and see how you've been able to create.
Really fun.
Yeah. High five for your courage. That's right. Bust outside that box, girl. All right.
Thanks.
See you guys later. Thanks for listening.
Bye.
Bye. I film almost everything I do. Like this. Like we're like.
You're like the Truman Show.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah. I film a lot that I do. Are you filming this?
Yeah.
The arm.
This is actually a conversation we were having. I know. If you go like this, okay, this is something that you should know about camera. If you turn to the side and you jam your arm into your body, look, you're gonna look like you're Popeye, except reversed. You're gonna look like you're a big bruiser and you have a huge elephant arm.
So hold it away and flex.
Hold it away and go like
flex
this
gently and breathe.
So anyway,
the Barbie hands.
How are you doing today? Okay, anyway, that's how we were talking about. Yes, you drink your wine in severe muscular activation. I can't even move. Anyway, okay, so I'm just going to sit like... Okay. Anyway, it's not a tragedy for the people taking your class, obviously, but to me, teaching just the people that are in the room and not sharing it on social media and sharing it with your wider community is kind of tragic. You know, so at this point, because she's not filming anything yet, and because, of course, like all of us, you go through self-doubt.
Scared.
She's scared. She doesn't, and she thinks whoever, whatever. But when you are teaching in the room, put a camera in there. If you don't love parts of it, you can chop it up on iMovie and edit it yourself, or have your husband do it, or a friend who knows how to do the stuff. It's easier than you think to learn it, by the way. But chop it up, and here's a cool little 5-minute part that I really like. I'm going to put that on Facebook. I'm going to share it with people. I'm going to put the whole class on my website for sale, because people who love the class, hey, if you love the class, they know for $5, $10, they can buy it and have it forever and use it at home when they're not at the studio or when they're traveling. You would love that.
I would love that. I just need to get used to seeing myself on film, and I think maybe filming it every day and just going through and looking at it.
Yes.
Well, just like everything else, chipping away,
and
getting used to seeing
lighting
yourself.
is everything. Because I film myself, and I look like a barroom hooker at 2 o'clock in the morning after way too many drinks. Okay, or I can light myself properly, and I look beautiful. I look amazing. I look like what I think I should look like. Right? I look like me. So lighting is a big thing, and you'll learn how to place the lighting and how to place yourself on the mat so the information gets across and you present yourself the way that you like. We all go through that, and the thing is, it's ultimately not about us as much as it is about providing content, tools, and yoga to as broad an audience as possible, because the more of us that can show up on camera and use mass media to help people find yoga, do yoga more accessibly, more easily, the better. That's our responsibility, I think, and so we can help maybe vault over our own ego that says, I don't know, get out of your way and do it, and then share it and watch what happens. Because there are lots of times I don't feel like I look that great, or whatever, and I don't care, and I put it out anyway because the information is really good. It's going to help people, right? Yeah, and it's worked out all right for me.
I think so. See if I can make it work for me.
There we go. Okay, and we filmed it. So cheers. Thanks, Tyler.
Cheers. Thanks, Tyler. Awesome.
Thanks for turning it on.
Done and done. That's right. Oh, and this is not perfect lighting, mind you. That's okay. That's all right. We're just hanging out.
We're just hanging out.
Very organic.
That's right. Cheers. This is huge, and
Is that
a huge basil leaf.
Yowzer.
That's what you do. So you can multitask. You can multitask having a cocktail,
for my straw
having a
light.
conversation, and learning, providing tools to everybody. You're all our friends, and we wanted you to join in this conversation with us. Even though I didn't know it was going to happen, but I'm fine with that now. Namaste.
Namaste.